Oh, buddy. Welcome, everybody, to the Epileptic Gamer podcast. If you saw the episode, you know why I'm pumped. My name is Jacob, also known as the Epileptic Gamer, and I am smiling ear to ear right now. Holy shit, I could not get up faster. The second I turned my computer on, I said to myself, should I play some Dead by Daylight? Should I play some, I don't know, what do I got on my computer here? Shit. Should I play some Overwatch? Should I play some Valorant? No, we're recording this episode because this takes precedent. I said to myself I would not record another Next Level Lore video unless something really needed it. Well, 2 days later, maybe 1 day later, and that was a lie. Turns out they decided to break the Arcane in League of Legends said, F it, let's break the internet today. 3 hours ago on YouTube, which is now, so this is June's, I cannot talk, I am too excited. This is now June 11th of 2024, 3 hours ago. 2:40, so roughly around 11, 12 o'clock, they released Arcane Season 2 official teaser trailer. Not just a clip. No, a minute 30. This is the full-on teaser. What we saw for Season 1 is now for Season 2. This is the trailer. This is the one that we're going to get the most out of this story. In the first 25 seconds says a lot, and I'm gonna watch it along. I've watched like 20 times before this, but the first thing we hear is Mel's mom, which I'm blanking on her name. I'm so sorry. I know I should know her name. I'm actually coming to the comments now, but holy shit, the people are hyped. It is currently number 3 trending for gaming. Number 3 in trending for gaming. Wow. How to break the internet 101. Well, we're roughly like, a minute in this episode and I haven't even started talking about it. So let's do it. We kick off the very first beginning of the episode with enforcers just completely wobbling around. So people survived the explosion. There's rubble all over the place. The inside of it's blue. You can see that this is the aftermath. At least from what I can tell, this is the aftermath of the explosion. And then the next shot is a very interesting one. I can't tell whose seat this is. Like, I'm trying to place the seats. It's not against the window, so this is not Mel's shot. It feels like if you're going from round to room, I think this feels like this is Jace's chair. But before you guys are wondering why I'm breaking this down, this is called Next Level Lore for a reason. Gotta hear me out, folks. Come on. Now, the reason why I'm saying, why am I trying to figure out who this is? It's always context. Context with Arcane. They have so many mini details, so many minute details that are Easter eggs, but not in the teaser trailer. Folks, when it comes to Arcane, I don't mess around. So, this is my episode. This is going to get another episode, hopefully. Probably another episode of Next Level Lore. And if this one doesn't do well, I don't give a damn. I'm excited to record this. But, let's keep going. Because it's Mel's mom saying, your counsel is dead. And she's obviously saying it to somebody because... And it looks like it's Caitlyn. Because she is pissed. Like, so, I don't think Caitlyn... The reason why she's saying it to Caitlyn is maybe because Jace is either, one, like she said, dead. Which plot armor? No. I think Jay survived, and he got out. Or two, she knows Caitlyn is the most susceptible of wanting payback. So there's an attempt on her mother's life. She's gonna look at Caitlyn and say, "There's my target. That's who I can get to do. That's who I can get into this. That's who I can get my nails on and say, you know what you should do? You should go after her." Which leads me to my next part. Your counsel is dead. And right after that, I don't know the song. I've been looking it up. I even went on like every lyrics website known to man. But it's like maybe it's just a clip. It might not even be a song. But we get our first peek into the soundtrack, where it's a song, like a man is singing, you walk along the edge of danger. That it's Vi, not in her enforcer outfit yet. Which is interesting. Because that means she's not an enforcer the entire season. So internet, you can calm down. You don't have to deal with enforcer Vi. She hasn't hurt you yet. Keyword there is yet. Now, they are obviously stolen, from what I'm looking at, this is 9 seconds in. So if you want to follow along, this is 9 seconds into the trailer. I'm watching along as I'm doing this episode. So, they're still in the destroyed council room, and Vi is still in shock of what she's seeing. She's just looking around and just like, whoa, my sister did this. And you could tell like she has no words. That's the face that someone has no words. And finally, we see Mel's mom in her war uniform. Complete war, she is ready. And says, wrath must be met with wrath. Holy shit. Oh man. Then right after that, a Noxus war balloon comes in through the clouds. Okay. It is time for war, and they are going to go off. And the reason why I say it is time for war is because she puts a mask on that you could tell is a Noxian uniform. She has a uniform on when we saw her in season 1, she didn't. So she came for war. She knew something was going on. She knew something was up. And so she's more, and this is a theory. This is just a theory, but I'm going to get into that later. I have a theory on that. Like, how does she know something's up? I have a theory. But we're still breaking down the trailer. When we see a Noxus war balloon come in, she's prepared. Noxus is ready to fuck some people up. I'm trying not to drop F-bombs here. But, yeah, Noxus is ready. They really want to get this done. So, it keeps going, and then they show 2 people. Well, someone and then a group of people. It seems like Noxus, the second shot is Noxus soldiers. Because they're not Piltover enforcers. They're Noxus enforcers, just almost like keeping guard as something. Or someone. And like they do a big salute, which they pound against their chest. I did not know the League of Legends lore. That might be standard, that might not be standard. It almost seems like they're called to war. But Vi is running through chaos. So the first peek we got is 16 seconds in. And Vi is running through a red sky filled, and dirt is coming down, and people are terrified. So we are seeing the first seconds of what is happening in Piltover after the rocket got fired. That is awesome. That is straight up awesome, and I love it. I was hoping there wouldn't be a time jump, and that just confirms for us right there, there isn't going to be a time jump. We're going to see right what happens. And I am happy. people are terrified. There was a terrorist attack on Piltover. They're going to roll it as a terrorist attack on Piltover. So Vi is running, trying to get... She stops and looks at something. We're going to assume it's the cancer building. Because she looks up and is just like, holy shit. That's intense. And that's when they show the Noxus enforcers. So maybe Noxus is already there. Maybe she's like, oh, I can't get through. But, no. You're not going to block Vi off. She's going to find a way to get through. And she does, because we see earlier in the trailer that the room gets cleared out and finally Vi gets entry. But the next shot is of Caitlyn's Hextech rifle, straight out of the games, mind you, with the net catcher. Which, thank you, Fortiche and Riot Studios, for putting that in the game. That rifle looks badass. And it is Hextech powered. We have gone into Hextech Weaponry, folks. We are not screwing around anymore. Whoever did this, which is powder, Caitlyn's coming for blood. Which, I'm going to go into this later, because this makes you wonder what happens now. But Caitlyn is ready. She is like, yeah, no, this is my time. I am gonna... And also, it's the net launcher, keep in mind. So, part of me wonders, is she going out... She does go after powder, like, as I'm going to tell you. But the quote that is being told is, you will have justice. Then it shows Caitlyn loading up her rifle at the ready. So Mel got to Caitlyn, and Caitlyn is ready. So do we wonder how Vi got to this point? It's because Caitlyn snapped. Not Vi, but Caitlyn snapped. Someone that she cared about got hurt. That's like almost parallel to Vi. Well, when do we see Vi usually get the most emotional? When someone close to them gets hurt. When do we see Caitlyn get the most emotional? Like we see in Season 1, spoiler alert, when her mom is on the brink of death when the rocket's in the air. That's when someone close, or when Vi is getting taken away by the firelights in Episode 7. That's when they're the most emotional. And Caitlyn looks pissed. Which I'm worried. I am terrified. This is not gonna be our average season. That episode when we first get shown Caitlyn as her... One, she is back as an enforcer. She was fired. Remember that. She got fired in Season 1. People tend to forget that. But she is back. She has a Hextech rifle, which looks like it has a shitload. I'm looking at it now. Has like 3 different types of lenses. So it can zoom in everywhere, including iron sights. Her rifle is probably state-of-the-art. And it was probably custom made by Jace. So, which that confirms Jace does survive. There's no way Mel has the knowledge, not to discount Mel. There's no way Mel could possibly have the knowledge to build a Hextech rifle. Now, this could just be me being hopeful. And, of course, it is me being hopeful. I don't think she's going to use it on powder. If she does, I'll be shocked. And I'm saying that in the most possible way. It's just like the way she's looking down at the gun in the shot that I'm looking is the, okay, I have it. Here we go. But she also has that like face up where she's looking down and it's like, do I really want to have to use this? That is that kind of like, okay, we got it, here we go, but do I want to use this? How did it come to this type of situation? Which makes me wonder, did Vi get through to her that her sister is human? Jinx is powder. Did Vi get through to her on that? Like, that's a big question there, and I wish they would answer that, but they can't. Because you can only record so much. And you can only record so much in voice acting, and you can only get so much in trailers. So, hopefully that they give us the answer during the season. I think they will. I'm not worried about that, but I think, this is going to be the other way around. There was an interview that said, you're going to see the characters become total opposites. This was the head of the development for Arcane that said, hey, you're going to see the characters that are total opposites of what they're going in Season 2. They're going to become what they are. So, we see Caitlyn as that empathetic girl that she calls herself a misfit. Vi as this pure Zaunite. Now they've switched sides. If we're looking at the total opposite of what they were in Season 1, Caitlyn's going to be out. She's going to be ready. For whatever comes her way, which you're going to find out in just a bit when I hit this next play button. She's going to be ready. And if Vi is the opposite of what a pure Zaunite is, then that means she's going to be pure Piltover. She's going to be supporting topside in this war. And that's when it's going to get interesting. But let's keep moving on, because this is called Next Level Lore for a reason. So not after you get done with this breakdown, which we're probably already at 10 minutes at this point. We're not even 30 seconds into the trailer. Leave it to me to do that. I can do theories, which I'm going to do. Maybe not, I don't know. Yeah, I probably will. But let's keep going. Then we see Vi's gauntlet getting jacked up. And I didn't realize this at first. I'm going to pause it. Vi has the sheriff badge. That is huge. That's a huge detail. And they finally make note of it here. They make the shining sound on it. So, why didn't Caitlyn get it? That's the big question. Caitlyn eventually does become sheriff in the games. And Vi becomes an enforcer in the games. And they even said no one knows, and this is according to the website, no one knows how Vi and Caitlyn actually got to work together. Now we know how. Obviously, Arcane became lore, and, well, this is how they got to work together. Now, why did Vi get the sheriff badge, though? Did Caitlyn look at it and say, no, I don't want it, I'm taking this into my own hands? Almost type of a Vi approach? No, maybe this isn't the enforcers at all. This is a task force. And I'm saying it's a task force because of the next quote. This November, before we keep going, they're in this council room. Once again, yes, we're back to the council room. 2 chem tanks fly in. And they fly in hard. And this poor enforcer gets it. He gets, let's just say he doesn't survive. Let's say he doesn't survive and we'll call it a day. If you want to break it down shot by shot, the shot that I just got, if you pause at 34 seconds, you're going to see why I said he doesn't survive. But he takes the shot right to the chest, and you're not coming back from that hit, sweetheart. So, and Caitlyn's also in the room, too. I don't know if it was before she got her new rifle or not. I know she sold her her old one to help Vi out. So, she's weaponless at this point, unless she borrowed someone's rifle. But chem tanks fly in and shit hits the fan. As always. So I think this is going to be a big action-packed sequence. And the biggest thing that crushed the internet was witness the final chapter. Is it of the series? I think they would say it's of the series. But it just says witness the final chapter, but then again it does say later on, maybe it's the final series of Arcane, and then they're going to do another spin-off episode, like another spin-off series with different heroes. I've told you guys time and time again, I want to see Miss Fortune. I want to see her come around. But the next scene after that is Caitlyn saying, I will lead a strike team in the Zaun with 3 objectives. Those 3 are, the first one, capturing Jinx. We get to see one of the posters of Jinx, which are just poorly drawn. You could tell someone in Zaun made those. Like, at least, or someone that doesn't know what Jinx looks like, and Vi gave a brief description, knows. And, we see enforcers with shields, which is shocking. Like, so where are they entering that they're gonna need, like, riot gear? We've seen them in Season 1 for, like, a brief second at the barricade, but not to this extent. They're mobile now. And then we see Vi running into Powder's, what I'm assuming is Powder's lair. But then again, Zaun is now Powder's lair, so this could be anywhere. Because I'm saying that because the grenades pop up, and it's just pure chaos for Vi. She's running from something. And I think this is the sister fight. I said in the very first episode when I did Arcane theories, Powder is going to win the sister fight. I said it on Reddit as well. I think Powder wins. And maybe Vi wins. Maybe it's a stalemate. Something happens. But Vi is surprised. And most importantly, she's wearing one more thing. And it's Clagger's goggles. She has Clagger's goggles. And the last time we saw those was in Powder's hideout. So that's a fun little Easter egg for people. So I think Vi probably sees those and she realizes that, oh shit, this is my sister's place. That ain't good. And Vi reacts naturally. She gets her fist up for, I'm assuming, the shield. And bang. That's all we see in that scene. For now. And then we see Singed get arrested. Why is Singed surrendering? Like, why is Singed surrendering? Surrendering. I cannot talk, I'm sorry. He willingly just raises his hands like, yeah, here, take me. I have a theory that it's probably because his job is done. He isn't needed anymore. My beast is out there. You have fun. What? Yeah, it's like you... And I agree. He did it. He accomplished what he needed to do. He did his part in the storyline. He needed to get Warwick out into the world. And I'm going to rewind it just a bit, just so I can see it again. But the fact that he just willingly gives up is... That's a strange thing to me, and I want to get someone's opinion on it. I don't know how to take it. It's one of those where I wish I could do a video podcast, but I don't have the stuff to do the video podcast. Now, we're going to go further, we're going to go back a couple seconds, because I forgot to talk about this. Savika gets an effing glow up. She is using, which I find interesting, she's using Powder's gun. She's using Jinx's gun. And she is confident now. For those of you that do not know, there's a scene that got leaked out. It's a brief shot. But it's like Savika trying to figure out where her place is. Now, why does she have Jinx's gun? That's a huge question mark. Then it's like, and she's aiming it at somebody. And if you look closely, and I was, of course, me being the person that wants to know whatever I can, after all these episodes called Next Level Lore, I am looking around, and in the back, the slightest shade of pink is there. So I think Savika's working with Jinx. Like, they buried the hatchet and kind of said, hey, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and that's topside. And that's it. I just think that's all it is. And Savika needed an arm. So maybe this is the time where, okay, she's still working on her arm. So, hey, take my pistol. If they come for you, use it. That could absolutely be what it is. And I hope that's what it is, because that's pretty much a badass way of saying, no one's going to touch you while I'm around. And I promise you that. That's great. So if we keep going, we see a huge, and when I say huge, a huge chem tank with a saw as a hand. When I first saw this shot, I thought it was Warwick. And it still could be Warwick. Maybe like it's pre-stages. Like maybe he didn't find a way to get the Shimmer out. But the way everything is, you can look closely, it's definitely not him. And this is definitely a shot during the war. You can tell. The way that everybody's aggravated, the way they're positioned, they're now fully at war. So Zaun in Piltover is at the Civil War. My theory is confirmed on that one. Yay. Point to Jacob, folks. I got one on Arcane. I got one on Arcane before I figured it out. Awesome. And then Caitlyn zooming in on something. She has her eyes locked in. It could 100% be that tank. And the next biggest thing is the Chem Barons. We saw them in one scene in Season 1. But it seems like they're going to have a more prominent role in Season 2. Because they're all looking, waiting. A couple of them are coughing, but the one in front is just like, okay, bring it on. And the reason why I say, okay, bring it on, is they're approaching what I think this is Powder? It's a statue of Powder as Jinx. Or somebody, I cannot tell who it is. Maybe it's Caitlyn. I don't know. This shot confuses the hell out of me. But it's breathing toxic gas, so I think they're getting knocked out. And she's taking them somewhere. And directly after that, they show one of the Chem Barons go bolting after him. So this Chem Baron's pissed. Maybe he's the one, he got away and the others didn't, I don't know. But he's getting chased by somebody, or he's chasing someone. There's someone behind him, that's why I said he's getting chased by somebody. But that's just me. And right after that, we see Savika's brand new arm, which is an interesting arm. And now it also confirms my suspicions that she is working with Jinx. It is graffiti covered. Yep. When I say this, I say this with the utmost certainty now. Savika and Jinx are working together in, I don't want to say personal capacity, but professional, at least professional. And I honestly think it's going to be interesting. This is going to be very, very interesting to see how Savika plays into this. And first of all, how can you trust her? She just killed your boss. I mean, then again, I think Savika realizes she knows what's coming. She knows topside is ready. They're going to come for her, so she had probably made a split-second decision. She probably said, okay, alright, let's do it. So the fact that she gets a new arm, and it looks jacked out, and you can even see the impact, and it's a big light that lights up the entire alleyway, is insane. So Jinx loaded her, she decked her gun out. She decked that arm out with probably a few guns. Let's call a spade. Knowing Powder, she gave her more gadgets than she realizes. And I think Savika just found that out. Yeah, I think she got surrounded, and she's surrounded by 5 people, it looks like. So maybe those are the 5 Cambarans, and one of them overstepped, and Savika made her pay. So I think that's going to be fun. This is going to be... We have multiple storylines going on. What's going on top side and what's going on bottom side in Zaun. Did I say bottom side? Christ. What's going on in the Undercity? And now, I think this is going to be big. At least this part of the story is going to be big. Because Savika's going to look at his arm and either just say, whoa, that's too much power. Or, hell yes, let's keep going. There's no in between here. Or maybe she's conflicted. I don't know. Arcane is very good with their twists and turns like that. Maybe she does end up being conflicted. But the fact that you pause it briefly at the 50-second mark, it's like a blink and you miss it type of situation. If you want to find the shot that I'm looking at, go to the 56-second mark on the trailer and pause it. You'll find it. I'm on YouTube, by the way, so if you don't find it on Twitter, you can find it on YouTube. And then we see the first shot of Ekko. And it's definitely an interesting shot. And I'm telling you this because I brought up last time that is there 2 different flares. I now think it's not. Instead, I think Silco is fully gone. Ekko now looks at Jinx, or at Jinx as powder. And the shot that he's looking at, this one has me the most confused. Because he kept saying, it's Jinx now. It's always been Jinx. So why is the next shot of I keep saying Silco, why is the next shot being shown right after Ekko of Jinx holding a flag? Almost like she's marking her territory. It's just, it's odd. That doesn't seem like something Ekko would do. Like, I keep saying Silco. I don't know why I keep saying Silco. Take a shot for every time I mess up, folks. You might end up in the ER. But, yeah, like her braids are extended fully. Almost like maybe her braids are like a guard, like her gate, like saying, hey, stay behind me type of situation. Stay behind me and we'll be free. And she has a flag lifted. So maybe Ekko's going down and he sees this somewhere. I don't know. There's no way I see Ekko drawing this. And the reason why, they probably want us to think Ekko drew it. But I don't think it's the case. I don't. That definitely seems too much out of character for him. And I say it's out of character for him just because of the way it is. Like, he looks at he draws people that he lost. He never lost Jinx. They mark, and he said he lost Powder. That's why she's on the wall. But, yeah, the way this is definitely someone like almost worshipping Jinx in a sick and twisted way. And it's going to be one of those things where, I guess, I don't know. You need to find the right balance of, hey, she's going to free us. At the same time, she is also, like, we have to consider the fact that Ekko switched up. Because in the game, he says, he says to Vi, I know you're going to return to Zaun eventually. In this case, in this scenario, is this Ekko maybe considering the fact that maybe Jinx is right? Maybe, yeah, they don't give a shit about us. So, we're going to take shit into our own hands now? Maybe he's right. Maybe Powder even personally invited Ekko to a meeting. I don't know. But it's definitely a weird mural. It freaks me out. It almost, like, it doesn't freak me out in the sense, it almost has the biggest question. It screams liberty. Like, someone trying to free people, and that's maybe if we, in a different universe, we see Silco holding that flag. But, in this case, it's Jinx. Jinx pulled the trigger. And Jinx finished off. So now it's obviously public knowledge that Jinx pulled the trigger. Another question is, how did they know that? Did she just randomly come out to the people and say, hey, guess what I did, folks? No. Someone had to be there. Someone had to leak it out. So there's obviously two things going on. We got the Jinx worshippers, which are the people that are fighting back. And then we got people that are just trying to survive. And I'm saying survive because the next shot we see is saying, my sister is gone. And that's Vi. And there's a hooded figure. And I'm giving that. I gave that a dramatic pause for one thing. A hooded figure is looking back at someone. And I even have this on full screen now. I can't make out a face. I can't. But it's full body. So it's full body for a reason. It's there for a reason. They don't want to know. They don't want us to know who is in that. I pitched a while ago that maybe Jinx fakes her death. I don't know if it was on here. I think it might have been on a podcast stream. It might have been with one of my friends. That Jinx fakes her death. And Vi becomes obsessed with the idea that she's still alive. Then they find her in Bilgewater as Miss Fortune's right-hand lady. I was going to say right-hand man or right-hand lady. And Vi finds out that this blue-haired girl is working with Miss Fortune in Bilgewater. And that's how you get Miss Fortune into the story. That would be a decent idea, and that would be a good idea. Like, how do we play Miss Fortune into the storyline? That's how I would set it up. But the fact that this is a black cloak, looking back at this, obviously Vi, and to say my sister is gone, Vi either saw Powder commit a domestic act of terrorism once again, or two, she's lying to somebody. Because that's Powder. The way that the quote is laid out, it's a very interesting quote to have. Very, very interesting quote to have when that gets shown. So the fact that she is looking at someone dead in the eyes and says, my sister is gone. That's the next shot. She's looking at somebody. She's talking to somebody. She's covering for her, I think. So I think this is definitely before the fight. I think. I'm saying I think a lot, and I'm sorry. Yeah, I think this is before the fight. And we see our first shot of Warwick right after that, and he looks like a beast. Like, holy shit. Red eyes, metal claws, straight out of the video game. You put those tubes in there, and we would have Warwick from the game. And he looks like he is ready to fuck some people up. I pitched the idea that they're going to have to work together. That just reinforced my idea that they're going to have to work together, folks. The enemy of my enemy is officially my friend. Caitlyn better die on the phone to get Jinx on board because, you're going to need some help. Warwick doesn't look like he's messing around anymore. He just lands and dirt goes flying up. He will tear through the army like a butter knife. It's going to be insane. I cannot wait. And she's about to, it looks like she has to take a shot. And it gets right after, and it looks like Caitlyn's aiming. And Vi says this has to end. And it leads up to Caitlyn taking a shot, which is bizarre. Who is she shooting at? It's not Vi. Or is it? Because Vi takes like a look back over her shoulder, and that's when we see Caitlyn pulling the trigger. Vi still has her Enforcer uniform on. I would say this differently if she didn't. If she has had a regular pink jacket. I don't think she's shooting Vi. There's no way in how Caitlyn would legitimately go out of her way shoot her fellow comrade. I guess, did I just say comrade? Christ's sake. To shoot a fellow soldier. There's no way Caitlyn would do that. That's out of character for her. She's gonna try to uphold her humanity this entire season. But the most jaw-dropping episode, that of the entire minute 30s trailer, is coming up next. You see Arcane League of Legends. And it is the most heartbreaking thing I never thought I'd hear. I speculated that it would happen. I knew it was going to happen. I didn't want to have to hear it in a trailer. They should have saved it for the show. But it is Vi yelling, and this is before what looks like the sister fight. So we just got confirmation the sisters are going to fight. Because it's right after the Arcane a League of Legends story scene. So we got kind of a little post-credit scene. But Vi, at the top of her lungs, yells, Jinx. Calling out to her. And right behind her, guess who's there? You guessed it. Jinx herself. And she, almost in the most sarcastic yet undertone voice, realizing what she's about to do, says, "You finally got the name right." Oof. How much did that just kill Vi? Yeah, we're talking about fictional characters here. But how much did that just hurt Vi to her core? Because you see that, and you're just like, ouch, that hurts. And this is in a room, it looks like a council room, but it has, Jinx's drawings all over it. You see Powder and Vi, a young Powder and a young Vi. It has her doodles literally all over it. But she says, "You finally got the name right." We see a drawing of Vander. And I want to do a complete deep dive into that later on. Because I still have to take a look at those. But yeah, you finally got the name right. And right after that, you see Jinx shoot. But I don't think she's shooting at Vi. I really don't. And I say this with the utmost confidence. She's not shooting at Vi. But first off, the Jinx, she looks unhinged. She's been alone for a long time. I'm sure Savika's whispering into her ear if they're working together. Yeah, they've been alone for a long time. So Jinx is probably unhinged. And the fact that Vi's probably pissed at this time that she's gone through every single trap to get to her is irate. She's probably irate, at least. And she yells Jinx, and I don't think she's shooting at her. People think she does because you can see the minigun has a little bit of electricity behind it. But we get a brief second of the sister fight. Vi goes into it for a Superman punch with the Hextech gauntlets. And right after that, it's just a clash. You just see them go eye to eye, and that's when the trailer cuts. Wow. I probably just made this like a 30-minute episode on a minute 30 trailer. And it is now time for theories because, oh baby. First off, sister fight is confirmed. And I am so happy about that, but at the same time I'm not. Because that episode is going to crush me in every way, shape, and form. I am not going to look forward to that, and I am going to be the first to admit I will probably cry. The fact that Vi straight up said Jinx, and they're willing to show that in the trailer. I'm sure that was probably making people hyped up, but what else is Vi going to say? That was probably the last thing Vi wanted to say. And Something tells me she was probably yelling powder a few times just to draw her out. Hopefully to maybe get through to her. And that's why Powder follows up with, you finally got the name right. But I want to say this with the utmost confidence. I do not think Jinx is shooting at Vi. And if she is, she's doing a terrible job because it's not in that direction. She's shooting at someone behind her. And I legitimately stood in I was staring at the background for 5 minutes because she knows someone's behind her. So why, because if you look at the shot closely, the gun isn't pointed at Vi. If she was shooting at Vi, the gun's pointed at Vi. It's not. So where was she shooting? Not at Vi. If she was shooting at Vi, Vi would be dead. That minigun shoots extremely fast. We've seen how fast it can shoot. I mean, so I think she was once again shooting at her hallucinations. And this theory just popped in my head now. I'm going to save it for the next episode, though. But yeah, I don't think she was shooting at Vi. Something else was there. Maybe that's a completely different scene all entirely. And she's shooting at someone and Vi comes in from the darkness. I don't know. That's not the theory I want to think about, though. I want to think about, I had a theory that popped in my other head, and I want to just lay on it, look around, what people think about it. Maybe someone else thought about it as well. But I realize that this episode is going far too long, and I can't do a theory section. So the next time I come back to you guys with Arcane, I will go into the theories. We will talk about it. We'll probably break this shit down once again. Hopefully in a shorter format. But thank you guys all for joining me in this shitty breakdown of an audio-only breakdown of an Arcane trailer. If you saw it, you know what I'm talking about. If you didn't, I'm sorry, go watch it, then come back. Then you'll know what I'm talking about. And if you made it all the way through without pausing the video and walking away, I thank you. And I say video because I'm on YouTube now. Sorry. So, I hope you guys all have an amazing week / weekend, depending on when you're watching this. And I will see you all in the next time we dive into Arcane or whatever comes next. So, bye-bye.